I think we can get started now, right? Again, thank you, Ms. Go, for introducing me. My name is Abi Mazran. I'm the Managing Director for 3D Tech Parametric. I mean, you guys can hear me clearly, all right?
Yes.
Yeah, it's good that I have a, slightly loud voice that my mom used to shout at me because I was too loud in the car, right? So, yeah, now, 2:30 is not the best time for lecture actually, alright? After lunch, everybody is a little bit tired, alright? And I'll do my best, okay, to keep you guys all awake, alright? I was made to understand that, majority, if not all, basically the background is actually, continuing your study in quantity surveying, alright? And project management, am I right? Yes. Okay. How many is doing, quantity surveying? Can I see a show of hand? Right. No CPM? Hey, we got one guys, 2, 3. Okay, alright. Good. Okay. So now, my background is actually in architecture. Actually, I studied architecture way back, alright. And I just wanted to show you this video first, alright. So the video I just showed you was basically about how we can build our world even digitally before we actually go and make it physically, all right? Because that is the main promise of BIM. Okay, the idea is that you're going to actually have digital informations that you can actually go and use and push for construction, all right? So I have been doing this for quite some time, all right? And basically, me and my company, we were involved in quite a number of projects, right? And we currently have infrastructure projects, we have shopping malls, right? We actually have apartments, right? And whatever that we do, basically done with BIM as the base, right? This is part of my team, all right? So we have about 30 people in our team, quite young and vibrant, all right? We have 2 locations in KL. One is in Mont Kiara, and another one is in Southgate, all right? And today, what I am going to do is that I'm going to try to cover as much as what we have here, all right? And to be frank, the entire show or presentation that I have here can be done, I can actually, make it very long, up to 1 day. All right, we can actually get into very details about, all this thing with regards to BIM. So basically, my presentation would touch on what is BIM, okay, what is used for, what happens in Malaysia in terms of BIM, okay, and I'm just wondering whether you guys have heard about BIM. You guys have, right? Okay. So Ms. Go has been telling me that she have actually taught you about BIM, which is good, alright? We need more young people that comes into the industry understanding about BIM, okay? But what I can tell you is that, BIM is also very confusing right now, okay? We have projects where there is a requirement for BIM, But then, okay, because not everybody is at the same level of understanding about what BIM is, it actually becomes a very big challenge, all right, to actually go and do that project, okay. Why we are here is actually part of because what's happening throughout the world as well, all right. I'm just going to touch on this, okay. I'm sure that you've heard about industrial revolutions, all right. We are in the 4th industrial revolutions, okay. With the first industrial revolutions was actually referring to mechanization, okay, when human, okay, realized that, okay, we don't have to do everything, or we don't have to get the cows to do things for us. We can actually use, you know, water, steam, okay, mechanization. So that's what happened, all right. And this happens, okay, way back in the 1800s, all right. I mean before 1800s, okay. And the second part of the industrial revolutions that we have was basically with regards to how we can actually make mass production, okay. Now everybody have a mass-produced stuff, okay. I believe that everybody know what iPhone is, okay. There are millions upon millions of that, okay, because we can produce stuff that is similar, okay, over a million times, very easy and cheap, okay. So that was what happened in the second industrial revolutions, right? The third industrial revolution is where we start to actually have, okay, computerizations and automation, all right? So we have robots, okay? So in the 1970s, all right, what happened is that, okay, we start to actually have robots into production, okay? But I just want to tell you that, okay, you are getting into an industry which is a little bit archaic, all right? Construction is not as sexy as manufacturing, all right? I'm telling you that, okay? It's the boring old stuff, okay? You have sand, you have concrete, all right? It's the same thing, all right? So if you look at what happened in construction industry, we don't really, you know, move that fast compared to manufacturing, okay? But yet we are in the same world, in the parallel world with them, okay? And I mean, for us, the challenge now is because we are also getting into the 4th industrial revolutions, all right? Whereby we are talking about a cyber-physical system that allow, okay, machines to talk to machines, all right? When you get into a building right now, okay, one of the major components that you would not see, but you feel straight away, is the ability of the building to regulate itself, all right? Via what? Okay, building management system. All right. So instantaneously, you know that the building is not working if it's hot, right? Okay. That is because now we have a system that enable, okay, your compressor to talk to your blower to be managed by somebody, okay, that is not even there. All right. So they can regulate, okay, what's happening into the building. All right. And what is interesting is that the fact that the 4th industrial revolutions that we have right now, okay, compared to the 3rd industrial revolutions, the time period that it takes is very short. Okay. Now, okay, the industry is starting to talk about the 5th industrial revolutions. Talking about what? Talking about AI, artificial intelligence. All right. And okay, this would actually make you think about, okay, how relevant you are, okay, in what you are going to do. All right. So that means that, okay, I mean, what we are looking at is basically, all right, intelligence replacing, okay, human doing, okay, mundane stuff. All right. So that's what. Okay, we have more. All right. So you guys missed the best part. All right. So okay, you will come. All right. But anyway, all right, I'm talking about the 4th industrial revolutions, all right. So what we need to do is that we need to actually have enough skills, all right, and better processes in order for us to, you know, build better buildings, right? Okay. Now, what I'm going to talk about today is basically we're going to, discuss about BIM, all right. I have this on my company's Facebook, all right, because the fact that it's very confusing. Okay, when you look into BIM, okay, it's hard to explain what BIM is. Okay, because it's not a thing, okay? It's not something that you can buy, okay? It's something that you need to adopt, okay? Basically, it's a process, all right, that you need to actually go and have, all right? But when you look into construction, there are already pre-existing processes, okay, that is being adopted, okay, and has been adopted for a very long period of time, all right? So the introduction of BIM into construction, okay, would somehow require you to look into the existing processes and to actually go and create new processes to ensure that, okay, whatever that you want to do with BIM is successful, all right? So it's actually a big question mark, okay?
The BIM Minute.
I'm going to try to explain it with this video.
Not so long ago, building a world of harmony came with quite a few twists. Lengthy parts, accuracy, interpretations, misunderstandings, and sometimes surprises. But times have changed. There's no ding with the BIM. The Building Information Modeling helps each stakeholder, client, architect, expert, and end user of a project to share the same vision from the design to the usage of a building. BIM with 3 M's for model, modeling, and management. Model, thanks to a 3-dimensional digital mock-up displaying details of every single component's feature. Managing, thanks to a structured layout that follows every step of the project's life cycle. Modifying and improving the project together with all its stakeholders, thanks to this brand new joint multi-display process. With BIM, construction enlivens the ways of designing, constructing, and operating efficient buildings and infrastructures, fulfilling the customers' and end users' expectations.
Alright, so that is a simple explanation about BIM in 1 minute. Okay, so from there you can see that there is that, okay, interpretation. Alright. However, okay, BIM, which stands for Building Information Modeling, okay, is very difficult to have one definition to fit, okay, whatever type of BIM that you wanted to do. Alright. But the number one thing that you should understand is that it is not entirely a software. It's not one software. It's not a software. Okay. So I mean, I know that you've been exposed to software like Revit. Okay. So Revit is actually one of the tools that you can use for your work. Okay, in order for you to pursue your BIM processes. Okay. But Revit itself, okay, is not big. Okay. Now, then the question is that, all right, if I go back, if you look at the word building itself, okay, in building information modeling, it's not about, you know, a vertical structure, okay, because we have building information modeling that is being applied for highway construction. If you're talking about one of the largest highway construction in the world right now that is happening in Pan Borneo, all right, so that is actually using BIM principle as well, okay. But if you talk to them, then they will tell you that it's actually called HIM, Highway Information Modeling. It's about the same, all right. So the building in building information modeling basically referring to the act of building something, all right. So it's not about the physical building itself, all right. So it's the verb, all right, that actually shows that you are going to build it, all right. Now, trying to explain BIM to different players in the construction industry is, okay, for the lack of better word, is similar to try to explain an elephant to a blind person. Okay, because it depends on where you are in the entire, entire construction industry. Okay, because the landscape of construction industry is very big. Okay, when I was a student way back, okay, my lecturer was telling us, okay, that years back, okay, they were telling us that you are getting into a profession. I studied architecture. You are getting into a profession whereby there were back then 50 overlapping professions. All right, and it's even more so right now. Okay, because you can actually go and get into construction as, you know, facade specialist, lighting specialist. Okay, there was nowhere. Okay, in the construction industry way back. Okay, so you have green building consultant. Okay, So I get into construction not because what I studied, okay, as an architect, okay, but as a BIM consultant. All right. So that means that trying to explain BIM is fairly difficult. All right. If you are a quantity surveyor, all right, the way that you wanted to leverage on BIM processes and the data that you can get is different from an architect or a structural engineer. If you are project managers, okay, you are not going to look at the same, same angle of the data. You're going to look at the same data, but the angle that you take, okay, the process that you're going to take, okay, to actually look into this data is going to be different, okay, compared to if you are, let's say, a quantity surveyor, all right? Okay, so that's why there is no one rigid definition of BIM. Okay, now what I'm sharing with you is basically 3 definitions of what BIM is. Okay, there is in no way that these definitions that I share with you is definitive. All right, so the first one is actually from the perspective of a software vendor, Autodesk, right? So they are one of the largest design software vendor in the world, all right? They have about 50 million users all over the world, all right? And basically, they have their own definition of BIM, okay? Now, there is also a definition of BIM by this NGO, okay, National BIM Standard, okay, in the States, all right? And for Malaysia, we actually have, okay, when I was in the BIM steering committee for CIDB, all right, you guys know what CIDB is for Malaysia, all right? Construction Industry Development Board, all right? So they take money from contractor and give it back in the form of, you know, teaching, all right, and I mean putting in acts, all right, for construction. So there is this definition for Malaysia, all right, and it's called BIM is modeling technology with associated set of tools and processes, okay, to produce, communicate, and analyze digital information throughout construction life cycle. All right, so that is the definition of what BIM is, all right, for CIDB. Okay, and why this is important? Okay, this is because CIDB is very important in our Malaysian construction industry, right? And to come to this basically definition of BIM, okay, it's not something that happens overnight. Okay, it's not something that happens over 3 meetings, all right, or over coffee. Right? So it happens through, okay, discussion that takes very long time, okay, and I think it takes over 2 years to actually go and get to this kind of definition. All right, okay. So believe me when I say that they've actually done their homework to actually go and come up with this. All right, but if you want something that is more simplified, all right, we can actually look into BIM, okay, as something, okay, or not something, as a process that would support, okay, the building life cycle. All right. So when you talk about why, okay, why we get into construction, all right, it's because, okay, of this building life cycle. Okay, construct is just one part of it. Okay, so before you can construct, there is this plan and design, then you build. All right. And then after that, you manage, all right? Manage is through the usage of that building, all right? So, plan and design might take 5-6 years. Build now is very fast, all right? So we are building buildings, okay, faster than we ever did, okay? 15 years back, okay, for a construction that costs about 300 million, okay, it would take about 3 to 4 years. Nowadays, contract comes in what, 24 months, 26 months max. Okay, you need to build these buildings. All right, and the other thing is that buildings are also getting more complex nowadays. All right, but BIM is the ability to use consistent, coordinated, and complete data through the entire building life cycle. So that means that you bring your information at any stages, okay? The information that you have will be able to support that stage and bring it to the next one. Okay, so that is what, okay, this BIM processes is supposed to do. All right, and after that, what happens is that you bring it to manage. All right, so this is where you have facility management. Okay, and this is the longest period of use of that particular process. Okay, so you have buildings that is what, 50, 60 years, 100 years even. All right, but along the way, you have other things that you do. All right, so you actually go and do renovations. All right, you still need to rely on information that you've created much earlier. All right, so you talk about BIM, you can look at it in this manner: consistent, coordinated, and complete data throughout the entire building life cycle. All right. Okay, now let's look at this BIM thing, right? Okay. To tell you the truth, right? 10 years ago, all right, or 12, 13 years ago, when I first started this, okay, it was very difficult to get an audience that already have even an inkling of understanding about what BIM is. Okay, so what I can say is that if you're talking about the context of Malaysian construction industry, okay, BIM, okay, only start to really become something that that the players discuss, okay, maybe about 5 to 6 or 7 years ago. All right. Before that, nobody talked about it. All right. Now, the fact of the matter is that, okay, BIM is not entirely true. All right. Now, as an idea about how this, okay, actually comes about, all right. So there is this book, okay, by Douglas C. Engelbert, all right, and the topic is actually the name is actually augmenting human intellect, all right. So basically, he's actually he was actually writing this way back in the 60s, okay, whereby he envisioned, okay, if you read through that, okay, that is exactly what the architects or the designers are doing right now. Okay, so not talking about drawings, okay, but looking at information that's actually being built up. All right, so that is how early as about this thing is actually being discussed.
The cross represents the point of a pencil.
I'm going to show you this, right? Very old video.
He makes a rough drawing and then instructs the computer which of the lines should be horizontal and which vertical. The computer obeys the instructions and makes a neat-looking bracket. After a change of scale of the drawing, guidelines are added to indicate a hole in the bracket. Lines are made vertical and then dotted. The click of the pen is a signal that the user is finished drawing a line. The guidelines are erased to complete the whole.
So what you have just seen is like the granddaddy of your AutoCAD or your drawings application. All right, this was shot, okay, way back in the 60s, okay, or 50s. Can't remember, right? Okay, but you know what is interesting? You know what is interesting? If you look at that, the guy was actually drawing on a screen. So basically, that is a tablet, right? Okay. So what I'm trying to get at is basically the fact that, okay, in terms of, okay, how technology was actually being thought of, okay, for BIM or whatever that we have now, it's not something that happens over the last 10 years, all right? Not even 12 years, not 15 years. It's actually way back, all right? So engineers, okay, and basically brainiacs, we discovered that, okay, this can be done. Okay, we can automate stuff, right? Now, okay, if you look at the history of BIM, okay, you can track it back, okay, to the 1962, all right, when it was first identifiable as conceptual underpinnings of BIM system, okay, and there was this tool called Sketchpad that comes in 1963, okay, and then to better understand or better categorize information, right? So there was this building description system, okay, and this goes through over the years, right? You can see that it happens way back, okay. And in the 80s, this is where you start to see the introductions of, a more mature, software, all right. So we have ArchiCAD, all right. So I think you guys know about AutoCAD, right? Okay. So how old do you think AutoCAD is as a software?
I think it's less than 20 years old.
AutoCAD?
Yeah, less than 20.
Less than 20? Anybody want to say any other number? So he says 20. Yeah?
It's around 30 years old.
Around 30 years old, right? So he is closer to it, alright? AutoCAD this year is going to be 36 years old. Wow, right? Okay? And you guys know Revit, right? How old do you think Revit is?
I think less than 20.
So again, you said less than 20, alright? So you shifted that, alright? Okay? So this year, alright, we're going to have our next general election, maybe, alright? Somewhere around the corner, alright? Now I'm telling you that if Revit is a human being, Revit can go to vote this year. Alright? So Revit is older than 21 years old. Okay? So if you are talking about learning this cutting edge software, it's not. Revit is not cutting edge enough. Alright? It has been around for more than 20 years now. Okay? So that, along that, you would know that, so that means that BIM has been around for many years. Okay? So then it first come as a term, only towards the 1990s. Alright, so 1992, alright, somewhere around that, okay? And basically, alright, then you have IFC, alright, that comes in, okay, Teamwork Solutions, alright, so Revit is not even 2000, right, it's 1990 something, alright, okay, and then we have tools like Naviswork, generative components, parametric tools, alright, and basically, okay, if you look at what happens in the industry, our industry, we can call it as AEC industry, Architecture, Engineering and Construction industry, okay. So you can actually go and see that, okay, acceleration of growth in technology, okay, for the longest time we didn't do much. Alright, it's all flat, alright, but then we start to grow exponentially. Alright, in terms of software, it's the same. Okay, alright, so now, what happens is that there are so many tools nowadays, okay, even AI tools that is actually being introduced into the building construction industry. Alright? And to tell you the truth, okay, this is where, okay, right now, okay, I think for the past few years, what happens is that there is this concerted effort to move, okay, our access from, desktop based, where you lug around your laptops, alright, into something that is more decentralized, alright, so you have the cloud solutions, alright. So what's happening right now is that, okay, your data will be available everywhere and you don't need a super high-end, access to it, okay. So that's what's happening as well, alright. Okay, now with regards to what happens in Malaysia, right? So I just want to bring it into the context of Malaysia, right? CIDB, as I mentioned to you, right, has been actually doing quite a number of, groundwork, okay, for the industry, okay, from the 2014, right? They actually have the BIM committee, okay, much earlier, a year before, okay, 2013, okay. And basically, our task was to actually look into what we can do, okay, until 2020, okay, for BIM development in Malaysia, alright? So, if you're not aware, currently in Kuala Lumpur, we are having this ICW, okay, International Construction Week, Alright, so you can go and visit International Construction Week in KLCC. Alright, and tomorrow there is this thing called BIM Day. Okay.